it's Berlin Music TV, and we're sitting here with Dry the River. Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey. You're from London, it's right?
Yeah, we live in London. We all live together in a tiny house there when we're in London. It's pretty cosy, about 5 of us, and then a couple of our crew live there as well a lot of the time. So there's about 7 of us living in a 2-bedroom house in East London. But yeah, it's good fun.
And is it your first time in Berlin?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this will be the first time we played here. Will be tonight. We played over in at the Haldenpop Festival in Germany, but that was our first show in Germany. So yeah, it's nice to play like a real venue in Berlin. It's pretty cool.
Okay, and you playing 2 times this week. It's the Berlin Music Week. How does it happen that you play here without recording and releasing one album?
It's a good question. I don't really know how it's happened. We played a lot of festivals in the UK and a few in Europe and a lot of showcase type shows, and so I think someone must have heard of us, and somehow we've sort of got some radio play and things like that out here from the single, and so yeah, it's just sort of all come about from that, I guess. But yeah, it's a bit mind-boggling that we're even here, to be honest. It seems like, how can anyone even know who we are in Berlin? But it's pretty cool that we get to come. So.
But you are recording an album now, it's right? Tell us about how it goes.
Yeah, we've just finished recording the album. In fact, it got mastered today, so it's kind of the recording aspect of it is finished now. We recorded it in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in America, with Peter Katis, who did Interpol and the National and stuff. But we were really busy doing a lot of European shows, so we were kind of to and from the US a load of times. I think we've been like 5 times since February. We kind of went to and from, and did like 10 days, 2 weeks at a time. So it was quite a fragmented recording process, but the record's finished now, and I think we're happy with it. So.
Okay, and why in the USA?
Because Peter Katis, the producer we wanted to work with, is based there. He has a residential studio there, and we moved into his house, and the studio's in the attic, and you will get your own bedroom there, and you can just kind of roll out of bed in the morning and wander up there in your dressing gown and do some recordings. So it's a really nice place to work. But he always works in America, so we chose the producer, and then we had to go to the US.
His studio equipment, he's got so much, huge desk and all this equipment. There's no way he could travel with it, so we had to go to him, really. But luckily he's got a really nice house, so for us, compared to living in a little tiny house in East London, it's pretty nice to get out there.
Okay, when you will release your album, and where? Also in Germany?
Yeah, the album's going to come out worldwide, hopefully. And it's coming out in, hopefully it's like February next year. So it's not too long to wait. And there's going to be another release, like a 4-track EP is coming out in November sort of time, to keep people something to, while they're waiting.
Yeah, we have to wait until kind of the Christmas period is over and people have ears for fresh music again, and then we'll release our record, January, February, probably early February, I think. And it should be available in all over Europe and the UK.
You produced it on your own or with a label?
It's with Sony RCA. Our first single came out on a label called Transgressive, an independent label in the UK, and then since then the last single and the EPs and the album are on RCA.
Okay, and you was born in Norway, it's right? And is there some Norway influence for you in your music, and can we hear it on the album?
Black metal.
Black metal.
We were watching a documentary the other day about Norwegian black metal, so maybe there's some of that in there. I don't know. I'm not sure. I was kind of young when I lived in Bergen. I left when I was about 5 years old. We've been back a few times, but I think the record is as much influenced. Well, it's more influenced by kind of personal experiences than it is by any one place or any one any of my upbringing or anything. It's much more to do with just kind of the way that the obstacles that I faced and everybody faces growing up and that kind of thing. It's more of a kind of, it's not really geographically tied down in that way.
Okay, and are there tour in some times? With especially concerts in Germany, are you planning a tour?
We're doing We have a UK tour actually, but then in the next few weeks, and then what happens after that?
We're doing a couple UK tours, one of a headline tour, and then we're touring with Bombay Bicycle Club in the UK, and then we're trying to get some like a European tour. Yeah, we're doing a support tour with the Antlers, who are an American band, and they're touring around Europe. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back to Germany on that, and that's in October, I think. November maybe? You have to check on the Facebook, I'm not sure of the dates.
How does it feel? You became more and more famous. Does it a lot of change for you? Like in your private life, in your thinking about music, making music?
I think we try not to think too much about it. So far we haven't really, we've just kept our heads down and carried on playing shows, and it's such a fickle industry, and one day things might be going well, and this time next year, there's no way to tell whether we'll be really successful or whether, we might be doing something completely different. So we just try to really enjoy the experiences that we have day to day, and we feel really grateful that we get to play shows for a living, and we just try not to kind of wish it away, wondering what's going to happen next, and just really enjoy every day and playing shows every night. So, but I think,
I think the biggest change was when we left our day jobs. We were all working and stuff and doing bands part-time, and then last year we managed to go in November, we sort of all quit our day jobs and said, let's just make a go of this full-time, and that was the biggest, for me, that was it really changed my whole mindset, because obviously before I'd be getting up early, going to an office, working all day, and then, playing shows in the evening, so you couldn't travel that far and stuff, and then ever since then it's been pretty much full-on touring and recording and everything, so yeah, our lives I feel pretty alien when I go home and sort of see my family that, they're still living in this 9-to-5 life, whereas our life is just so hectic, it's just all over the place, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, you don't really have time to think about the fame aspect of it, I don't think, because we're just too busy playing shows all the time. So, but yeah, I mean, we love it, so hopefully we can just keep doing it as long as we can.
Yeah, and how you came to the music? As a child, or?
I don't know, I started getting into it when I was about 10 or 11. I started buying albums and stuff, and just my older brother was really into music, so he sort of fed me some albums and stuff like that, and Pete had his various influence from his family and stuff, so yeah, I don't know really, it's just something that happened.
I think I grew up in the church. I was when I was a child, I went to a really strict religious school and stuff like that, so we all had to sing in choirs and stuff. I'm not like a deeply religious person now, but that's where I learned to sing and first discovered that I liked to sing, and then from there, yeah, it was quite a common thing where we grew up in the southeast of England. Everybody is in bands basically. Almost everyone I know has been in a band or is still in a band. Like, it's just a pastime that a lot of people seem to take up, and I was at school in loads of different bands, and it was just something we all did, everybody did. And
I think some people sort of did it when they're teenagers, and then when they went to high school or when they went to university, it phased out, but we sort of stuck at it a bit, and then after doing it for 10, 11 years, then it finally started to pay off. So.
None of us were good at anything else, so we had to make music work.
And when you decide to do it in a professional way, were there some ideas to do this when you were younger, or just happened to you?
We always said if ever we could make it work professionally, kind of practically or financially, then we would. And that was always the aim when we were younger in bands. We were always really trying to get signed and to, be able to make music. And then finally, after about kind of 10 years of doing that, we decided, we're kind of exhausted with this, and we've spent all our money on it and all our time on it for 10 years, and nothing's happening, and maybe we'll just try and do it, as a hobby and do it for fun. And I kind of went off to medical school to study and just kind of started writing folk songs and not really thinking too much about trying to get signed or whatever. And then before we knew it, things really picked up, almost in a way. The moment we stopped trying so hard, then things really picked up, and before we knew it, we were able to do it as a profession.
How important is the feedback of your fans for you?
We always stay in touch with Facebook. We're basically all like massive losers who spend too much time on the internet. So we're always on Facebook and checking up. And somebody was asking us earlier, do we read the press? And we were saying we don't really read, we try not to read reviews and stuff, because to us it's more important that the fans connect with the music, and we try not to think too much about the kind of critical responses, and rather just to engage with our fans. So yeah, we check the Facebook and we reply to people's messages on there, and we kind of, it's really important to us that people connect with it on a personal level. And yeah, we tweet all the time. We all have our own personal accounts as well as the band one, and we try to kind of, part of the reason why we all love to do music is just you get to meet loads of people and loads of situations that you never would normally, and it's really nice to kind of take advantage of that by just really getting to know people who come to the shows and talking to them about the things that they appreciate.
It's hugely important, like the Twitter and stuff, so important because you can directly communicate with all the fans, and they can sort of talk back, and it's great to just do little, just ask questions about, how you guys into this song and stuff like that, and see how people react to different stuff that we're doing, and then we can sort of gauge. I mean, we don't necessarily sort of take that and then go, right, now we've got to write a song that sounds, but it's more just like a general sort of feeling that we get from them, and so we sort of sculpt the set list around how the fans might want it and stuff. So yeah, it's hugely important, all the Facebook, and we absolutely I'm on Twitter every day. I love reading all of the people, what they've said, about us.
And I read at Facebook one of your idols is Cyndi Lauper. Is it right? And what other influenced in musicians?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of very uncool musicians, and my mother listened to Cyndi Lauper a lot when I was a kid, so I know all kind of Cyndi Lauper records, and Suzanne Vega and Leonard Cohen, Paul Simon. I really grew up listening to kind of classic singer-songwriters, which I suppose is where the kind of the foundations of my songwriting come from. I think now there's a tendency for it's quite popular for lots of bands to do really kind of strange things with song structures and really be kind of out there, but I think we've always not stuck to conventional structures, but I always kind of I actually like to write a song in a way as a songwriter to kind of craft it as verses and choruses, and it gives me a framework that I find really helpful. And I think now as well people are kind of coming back to traditional songwriting more, and going back to older records and stuff, so that's cool. So yeah, I definitely draw heavily, and lyrically as well, I draw a lot on those kind of songwriters.
And your influence?
Yeah, it's pretty diverse actually. It's really funny. We always get asked these questions about what sort of music we listen to in the van and things like that. And on one day it can be sort of like Leonard Cohen or some really chilled out Americana folk stuff, or then the next day it might be Iron Maiden and Metallica, and because we listen to a lot of heavier music too. Especially, when we were growing up, Johnny the drummer and I were playing in more heavy band, like rock bands and metal bands and stuff. So we've had quite a diverse, different types of music over the years, and I think that's what sort of makes our sound how it is. We've got the sort of folk elements, but then there's that bit of a rock side to it as well, just because as soon as we leave the venue we go out and listen to Dream Theater or something, so we might want to put in some little tech rhythms and stuff in there just to make things a bit more enjoyable for us.
What would be the world without music for you and for all people?
Oh, hell. I wouldn't want to be there. Yeah, I can't imagine. It wouldn't be very enjoyable. I listen to music every single day, and obviously we play music. Yeah, a world without it would be a scary place.
For me, much easier to express yourself musically than it is through other art forms, I think. So for me, I guess I'd have a lot of pent up concerns and no way to vent them.
Thank you very much, and enjoy your time in Berlin.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.